So here we are, one of my favorite theaters in the world, Cinemark Movies 10 in Canton, Ohio. Okay, good morning everybody. This video is completely unlike anything I ever post on this channel, but it's been such a crazy morning that I kind of wanted to share this with you, basically because I'm super hyper right now. I am so hyped up and I'm really trying to tone that down for the video, but it's really difficult right now, and I'm going to tell you why. I got up this morning, I start doing some things around the house, I start watching some videos, and I'm going through this like huge array of emotions, and I can't figure out why. I'm like, what in the world is going on with me? I'm watching these videos and I'm like excited, and I'm sad, and I'm crying, and I'm upset, and I'm happy, and then I'm just exploding with excitement, and it's crazy, and I'm like, what in the world is going on with me? I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take drugs of any kind. I'm not even on any kind of like regular medication regimen or anything like that. The only thing I take on a regular basis is my potassium because I'm on a low-carb diet so I won't get cramps, and I take an aspirin every morning just because that's what they say to do so that you don't have a heart attack. I'm a big fat guy, I'm 42 years old, so I'm probably at that age where if I was gonna have a heart attack, it's pretty close. Throw in the fact that I go out and kill myself skateboarding, and that adds a whole new level to it. But here's what I realized that I did. First, I'm going to tell you this, and then I want to share some of the things with you that I saw online this morning that are just, you know, kind of amazing, and some of the things I was watching because they were just really cool. One of them just made me die laughing. I've watched it a billion times. I don't know if you'll think it's as funny as I did, but I thought it was hilarious. So let's back up a little bit here. I've been so crazy busy recently with trying to do this YouTube channel, my other YouTube channel, babysitting. My girlfriend was in the hospital, and then I spent a few days with her just helping her kind of recover. I've had to have people come over to my house and let my dog in and out and feed him. And then when I return home, I had to spend the entire day yesterday, and it's going to be half of today, cleaning the house, sweeping and mopping multiple times and trying to get this smell out of here because my dog, like, his back end is half paralyzed or something, so he can't really control when he goes to the bathroom. He tries to get to the door, but before he can make it, there's a whole line of crap and pee all along the whole floor everywhere. He doesn't mean to do it, so I can't get mad at him, but it is definitely frustrating. I also have this very keen, strong sense of smell. I'm not sure why, but I mean, I can smell cat pee from 3 blocks away. And then for some reason when I have a headache, that multiplies, and I can smell every cat peeing everywhere in the city. I don't know why pee is so strong, but that smell is very strong to me. Same with cigarettes. There could be nobody outside anywhere smoking, but it could be somebody in their house 10 houses down, and I can smell it. So I spent the whole day yesterday cleaning and mopping these floors several times, windows open, spraying Lysol and everything else I could find in the house. Air fresheners, wax cubes, all that stuff. So I go to bed last night. I woke up this morning, I don't know what time, to this super strong stench of dog pee and poop, and I'm like, God, here we go again. So I get up, I clean it up, I try to go back to bed, I spray all this stuff again, and it's just, I can smell it so bad. After a little bit, I wake up, and I have this splitting headache. So I get up. What I realized I did was, in running the gamut with all these things I take, the aspirin, the potassium, I take Excedrin for my headaches, and it's just this generic stuff you get at Walmart. But, and I know some of you are going to kill me for this, but I take 4 of them when I get a bad headache, because that's just what it takes to knock it out. What I accidentally did was, while I'm standing here kind of rambling to myself about the dog and this and that and everything else that's going on, and I pour out my aspirin, my potassium, my Excedrin, and my Hydroxycut. I take Hydroxycut because I'm on this diet as well, so it gives me energy and it helps me to lose the weight. So on top of 4 Excedrin, which are loaded with caffeine, I took 2 Hydroxycut. Next thing you know, I am bouncing off the walls, every emotion in the book. I found myself watching Steve Ross videos this morning, which if you don't know, Steve Ross is the son of Bob Ross, the guy who paints the happy little trees. And we'll just put a little mountain over here, and maybe this tree is happy. He's smiling, and so is the cloud up here. Just be the clouds. You know, that guy. So I'm just watching his video in awe. I realized after about 10 minutes, I'm literally sitting there staring at the screen like the whole time, because this guy is just, it's just amazing how these guys create a beautiful scenic painting out of their head. You got to be able to see that stuff in order to paint it. I could never do that. I'm a pretty good artist if I'm tooting my own horn, but not in that way. Just not in that way at all. I see another video then where one of my friends online had some medical problems and missed a trip to Italy, so then I feel bad about that. Then across my Facebook feed comes a picture that my friend drew, my friend since junior high. Incredible artist, absolutely incredible. And it's a pencil drawing. I don't even remember who it was of, but he has these big wavy hair and everything going around. And this dude, my friend Scott, he draws hair like I've never seen it. Looks more realistic than real hair. Look at the hair. Is this not incredible? I couldn't draw hair like that if my life depended on it. It blows me away. It drives me nuts. Especially every time I think, oh, I'm going to try to draw a picture here. And I see one of his pictures and I'm like, okay, forget it. So then I start realizing what's going on and I'm like, you know what? I need to get a break. I need to get a break from everything that's going on in my life and just get out for a little bit. And the way that I do that is by going to the movies. The movies has always been my very best escape from everything, because you have to turn off your phone, you go sit in a dark, you gorge yourself with popcorn and cherry Coke, and watch a movie, disappear into a totally different world for 2 hours. And for me, that usually cuts it. That usually does what I need it to do to cut me off from reality for a little bit and reset my system so then I can go back at everything that I'm doing with the intensity that it requires for me to get everything that I'm doing done. Now, I've never talked about this before, but my very favorite company in the world, because of their incredible, amazing marketing tactics, is Coca-Cola. We'll get into that later, and I'll talk about that in another video, because that's just kind of retail related and just a different subject. But what do you see when you go to the movies? You see Coca-Cola commercials, especially at Cinemark. And I love their commercials. My very favorite one of all time was Deluxe 247, the kid who's going through his house like it's an episode of MTV Cribs. And it's just the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. I went to school with kids like this, and so my friend Mark and I watch that over and over and over and just are dying laughing. But the most recent one is the Coke song, where the group of kids are at the theater, they buy their popcorn, they buy their pop, and they start singing, and they're sitting there singing about the feeling of Coke, and just, to me, that song and the environment and everything in that video just totally embodies the experience of going to the movie theater for me. I mean, they capture that better than anything I have ever seen in my entire life. The way that video makes me feel is the way that I feel personally about going to the movies, and it lets me feel that escape, and that escape that I need. So I was watching that video this morning. This is the one I'm talking about right here. I will put a link to that video below, as well as the link to the Steve Ross video, and this other video I'm going to tell you about too. So after I've watched this Coke video a couple times and I'm looking at the Cinemark website to see what movies are on or what are my options for today, after I've watched this Coke commercial about 10 times, I noticed in the list below, Coke commercial conspiracy, and I'm like, okay, I gotta see this. So I start watching this video, somebody I've never even heard of. The guy has like under 1,000 subs. Apparently he's a comedian, and it really came across in this video. It's so hilarious. The guy's pointing out something he noticed in this Coke commercial that drives him crazy, and it touched a chord with me because I'm the kind of person who watches the background and notices the same kind of stuff, and I had noticed this myself before, but I never really thought anything of it. But watching this guy watching this guy talk about it and point this out and be so frustrated with it was just so hilarious to me. Here's that video, and I will put a link to that below as well, because you gotta see it. It's just so funny. But watch the Coke commercial first. The only thing left to do now is decide whether I'm going to see the movie Split or the Belko Experiment. Okay, we're on the road. I get so excited when I'm on my way to the movies. I love everything about it. From the minute you walk in the door and you get hit in the face with that smell of popcorn. And the theater I'm going to has kettle corn. It is so delicious. I don't know why they don't have it at the main theaters, or I would probably go to First Run Movies more often. The taste of that popcorn, the delicious ice cold cherry Coke, and if you go to like the first show of the day or on a strange day like Wednesday, a lot of times you are almost, if not the only person in the entire auditorium. So you have the whole place to yourself. And don't get me wrong, it's also awesome to go to the movies with a ton of people, but when you're by yourself, you just don't have to bother with anything else. It's such an awesome escape. So here we are, one of my favorite theaters in the world. It's like $1. I think it's actually $1.75 now for movies, because they're First Run Movies, but they go to this theater so they can squeeze a little bit more out of you before it goes to DVD. Looks like there's a busload of people coming in here today. Hopefully not for the movie I'm seeing though. Yeah, I'd like a large cherry Coke and a large kettle corn, please. This is what I'm talking about. Nobody in the entire theater.